You're listening to the International Souls Podcast, solo sessions with me, Eryck. These episodes are where I share my experiences in my careers, traveling, fatherhood, coaching, and everything in between. The real story is about living with intention, moving with purpose, and staying open to what's next. Here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome to the International Souls Podcast. This is a solo session with me. Today, it's all about the power of manifestation, journaling, visualization, and also be in action, and how this practice for me, especially at a young age, brought me to all these amazing places. I was able to visualize and manifest my first big International Souls campaign as a model. I traveled, I met my girlfriend at the time, and it was such an incredible year. So I want to share with you this story and also the invaluable insights that goes along the way. So here we go. I am 20, okay? About to turn 21. I am in Hawaii with my family. I was going through a breakup, my first love, okay? So like my high school sweetheart, going through that breakup. I was feeling so low, and despite being in this beautiful island, just feeling like, just going through a breakup. And my parents invited me at the time to go to a library. I'm not a big reader, and I wasn't a big reader at the time, and I was just like, for some reason, I would rather go to the library than to go at the beach that day. I jump in the car, go to the library. I'm walking through these different aisles, and I just stop. I looked on the right. I do this, take a book out, and I don't know why I just stopped that place. Took this book, small book like this big, and it's The Key from Jack Canfield. Okay, Jack Canfield, The Key. That book, that moment changed everything. I started to read the book, and it was an engaging book. It was a book where I had to journal, write goals, write my goals for my future self, write goals for my younger self, write the ideal woman of my life, the ideal life I wanted to create it, a lot of identity shift. And it was just such a powerful book. And I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop reading. And I couldn't stop writing. As I was writing all these goals and all these like lifetime goals, I remember I was on the plane back. Okay. So fast forward, we're on the plane back, and I was just going like boom, one after the other, incredible stuff that I would give myself my whole life to do. During that Hawaii trip, I turned 21, okay? And I just said in my mind, I'm gonna live this incredible year coming up, and I'm gonna meet, and I was kind of going through the goals that I was met. I'm gonna meet this new girl that will like just have this amazing relationship. I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna make some money. I'm gonna go to Tokyo. I'm gonna go to Venice. All these places. As I come back home, I wrote 86 goals out of 100. Okay, 86. Going to South Africa, swimming with whale sharks, swimming with white sharks, going to LA, owning a condo, all these places, all these things. Check this out. I'm going to share with you a few stories of a few things that I wrote and that actually happened in the next 2 to 6 months, that I give myself a year, not a year, a lifetime to live. I wrote on there, meet a new girl. I'm kidding you not, as I'm coming back in Montreal about 3 weeks after my Hawaii trip, I met with a new girl. We kicked it off really well. We become very good friends, and we started to date. And now, poof, this girl is now in my life. Super happy, super grateful. New girlfriend. So went from breakup, girlfriend. I write on my book. All of this before all of that happening. I write in my book, I wanna go to Tokyo. A few weeks later, my modeling agency calls me saying, Eryck, come to the agency. We have a surprise for you. I'm like, okay, I go. I have no idea what to expect. No idea. They started playing the song Big in Japan from Martin Solveig. And everyone's dancing like, okay, I'm just going with it. And Kareem's like, my agent's like, Eryck, the reason why we're playing the song, you just booked your first international worldwide campaign with Uniqlo. You're going to Tokyo next week. And the best part, you're getting paid 35,000 USD for that photo shoot. I'm 21 years old. I'm getting my first big modeling booking, international. I'm going to Tokyo. Underneath that Tokyo statement I wrote and dream, I wrote make 25,000 in 1 week. Now all of a sudden I'm going to Tokyo and I'm making 35,000 USD in 1 week. Incredible. Incredible. Underneath that, I write get my O1 visa so I can be legal to go work in the United States because I wanted to go to that next step and open the doors to the United States. You need an O1 visa as a model. About 2 months after the booking, well, let's pause there. I go to Tokyo, I do the shooting, and while I was shooting, they was so happy about the work that they decided to book me an extra day for an extra 6,000. So I ended up doing about $40,000 that week in Tokyo. Could you imagine that? As a 21-year-old, I came back, had all these Tokyo experiences, met all these amazing people, new client, made some money, was so happy, so grateful, new girlfriend, and now my O1 visa gets approved. Boom. Three things I wrote to myself. I had no idea I was going to Tokyo to make that amount of money. And all of this is happening. I'm like, whoa, this list is very powerful. I revisit the list. One thing that was on that list too was to, I'm very romantic. It was to go do gondola, like the gondola in Venice, Italy, with my new girlfriend. I had no girlfriend at the time and no plans on going to Europe. That summer, after Fashion Week, after all that, I was in Europe and I invite my girlfriend to come to meet me in Europe. My girlfriend at the time, Dominique. She comes and I don't know how, but we end up being in Venice, Italy, doing gondola. Could you imagine that? So I imagine doing that maybe in 10 years. It all happened in that specific year. So O1 visa, I go to Tokyo, I made that amount of money, and I'm doing gondola in Venice. This for me was a pure demonstration of the power of journaling, manifestation, and visualization, and being in action. Trusting that the synchronicity and the people in your life and being out there and putting yourself out there, you will get rewarded. I'm not saying that everything just happened if you write it down, but think about that. If you are, if you have a thought in your mind, it doesn't really exist yet. It's just a thought. You cannot see it. You cannot feel it. You can only, imagine in your head. If you put it down on a paper, then it actually started to exist. It's written. It's there. It's concrete. But then when you start visualizing it, seeing it, and feeling it happening, that's when the magic can happen. And since then, I've been journaling, manifesting, visualizing every single day, pretty much. If I'm not journaling, I'm saying out loud what I want to manifest, but I'm also practicing a lot of gratitude. So when those moments actually happen, come back to being grateful and remember and recognize that it's actually happening. So whatever you ask for, you got to be careful. You got to be ready to receive it because it might happen way sooner than later. And through this day, I still buy my journals, write down my goals, write down my manifestation, and it evolved as I evolve as well. At the beginning, I needed that structure in my journals. And now I'm very comfortable having a blank page and I just go full on page. I write a theme, a title. I always write the date and I just flow. A lot of it now has to do with gratitude. It also has to do with visualization and manifestation. And sometimes I just write my feel. I just put down how I'm feeling about a situation, about a person. And it can also gives a lot of clarity to write things down. So it's a very practical and powerful practice that you can start incorporated, and journaling as well. Another thing that I absolutely love about journaling is that you can go back. So I have all these books from the 20 to 21 to 33, probably 8 or 7 journal total, that now I can go back and reassess my mindset. What was my priority back then? And do a lot of introspection. Who I was before, who I am now. Has it shifted? Why has it shifted? And also go back, I still have that book and I still open it once a year and I can now check stuff that happens. For example, I went to Have an apartment in Los Angeles. 5 years later, check, have the apartment in Los Angeles. Become a father, became a father. Like there's all these things, but they're all happening. And sometimes we forget we actually manifested it, but it came true. So honor the manifestation, honor the power of it, honor the visualization. It's a very, very powerful practice. That booking that I did with Uniqlo was the beginning of a great relationship with a new client. They flew me. So after doing that big campaign, it was all over the world. So it got me so much exposure. It was, like I said, the biggest modeling campaign break that I had. And it got me to a lot of places. They rebooked me to New York after that for another campaign. And they flew me the next year back to Tokyo for one day, go to Tokyo for 24 hours, do the shoot. I think I was paid like 6 or 7 thousand euros for that day. Come back in Montreal, and that was kind of starting the beginning of my next break of modeling, where I started to really have attention with this bigger clients, bigger budget, commercial. Uniqlo is kind of like the H&M of North America, so how a lot of exposure, and these clients normally have bigger budget, and it was great. So power manifestation, believe, trust. And remember, I started to model at 17 and that was at 21. So it took me 4 years before getting to that stage. And again, I could have quit. I could have said no. And I didn't make money for the first 2 years of my modeling career. So just trust, just believe, just keep going. And you will have your break. You will have your moment. And sometimes it's better to not chase the money, but just be more in the present moment and enjoy the experience and the journey as you go along the way. Because once I got to finally my big break, that was just the beginning of a whole different chapter, a whole different career for me. So there's always something on the other side. Once you reach that peak, there's no such thing. It just keeps on going and going and going. So be open, be mindful. I hope that this podcast inspired you to start journaling, manifesting. If you want, let's open the conversation. I'm more than happy to discuss this with you guys. So guys, if you appreciate this podcast, it means a lot if you can follow, leave a review, or even share it to your loved one. Let's share the conversation. This all comes from the heart. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to follow the show and leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. It really helps us to grow and keep the conversation going. Thanks for listening.